Now you take some of your waste yarn and you just tie it around both tips. Now that is your place marker for the beginning of each border. Just like that. So this is where you, this end is your provisional cast on. This end is where you finish knitting the border. So you want the one where your provisional cast on is. Basically what you do is you move the yarn up to the working tip and you pick up a single loop for each second row of garter stitch. So basically when you look at the fabric, you've got the raised edges and you've got the knit stitch in between. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick up one edge of the knit stitch between each bump, and you just work your way along the side edge of your border until you reach the other end. The number of stitches you pick up will vary depending on which pattern you're doing, and it is entirely possible that you will get to the end and you won't have exactly the number of stitches that you're supposed to have. You may have picked up extras or you may not have picked enough, but have a look, and if it's not horribly obvious where the errors are, this is going to sound terrible, but just fudge it. If you're one or two short, pick up another couple of stitches when you knit this row. If you've got too many, either drop a loop where it looks like nobody's going to notice, or knit two loops together. So you're not knitting them at this stage, you're just going along and you're picking them up. Okay, I might keep going with this and come back to you when I've picked them all up. Okay, I'm back. I've picked them all up and I'm back to the point where I have back to the other border, I guess you'd say. So now what I need to do is I need to turn it, and this is the last row of the border here, so it's row 32 in this particular pattern. So what I need to do is knit across all of these stitches I've picked up and do row 32 over this side as well. But first I've got to do a gathering stitch, so bear with me. But for this pattern, what I've got to do is I've got to gather 16 stitches in each corner into a gathering stitch, so that the border can turn the corner. So what I do is I grab the tail that's attached to the cone and put it onto a knitter's sewing needle like this, and then I move that one out of the way so I don't lose any stitches, because that would be tragic, and basically use the needle to go through. So I want to gather 16 to 1, I go 17, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and pull it through. And you can take it off the needle And this is going to end up being your stitch. So put that over that needle and then just ease up the tail. So that's basically what it looks like at this point. Move that needle, put the stitch onto the needle that you want it on, and then pull the gathering stitch tight. And to do that, I pull up the loop rather than pulling on the tail. And then when it's nice and tight, and it's how I want it to be, and you can, use a crochet hook if you want to pull it up like that. When it's tight the way I want it, then I put on the tail. So that's your first gathering stitch. So then you knit across. And for this particular pattern, I want 143 stitches between the two tails. So now what I want to do is get the tail in the right position, and I want to knit 142 to get to the other side. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is going to be boring, so I'm going to turn off the recorder and come back when I'm at the other end. Okay, I've gone all the way across and I've now got 17 stitches in front of the border stitches. So I do the same thing. I take the tail of the yarn and I put it on a sewer's needle, knitter's sewing needle, and then I gather up those stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Pull it through, take off the needle, put the loop over the other needle. Oops, I'm going to get this bit in the right place. That's it. And then I'm going to pull it tight. So I've got the gathered stitch in the corner there. Now I'm going to take tail through to the other side and pull it up. And so there's your gathered stitch there. Okay, move the stitch marker across to the other needle like that. And then what I need to do is to knit row 32 of my pattern back that way to finish the row. So it should line up, but if it doesn't, you just got to work it. So we've got 1, knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn forward, knit 7, and knit 2 together, yarn round needle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've got too many there, so I need to knit 2 together and then knit 2 together, which brings it back down to the knit 5, knit 2 together, yarn round needle, knit 2 together, yarn round needle, knit 2 together, knit 1, and ta-da! She has some black caught in there. Get rid of that, and we turn it around, and now you're ready to commence your pattern with a gathering stitch in each corner. So that's how I pick up stitches off the provisional cast on, pick up stitches from the side edge of your border, and knit the establishment row. And that's about it. Happy knitting, everyone.